What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Welcome to Saturday. Today, we are going to be going live into the realm of rescuing a radio. I love rescuing radios. I love live radio, or picking up radios at Hamfest, buying them online, the whole 9 yards. And we're going to talk about it in just a minute. Enjoy the memes, and we'll get started real soon. Give me a 5 down in the chat if you're hearing me too. I'd appreciate it. Today, there are 3 million amateur radio operators in the world. That is a growth of over 1 million hams in just over a decade. That means across our great planet, in the ham shacks across the world, there are literally billions of amateur radios that are used, neglected, put away in crates, kept in pristine boxes, and never used. Let's do something for those sad ham radios. Let's sell them to another ham so they can store them in their ham shack, in their pristine boxes, in crates and cabinetry to collect dust. And if you're new to ham radio, this is also an opportunity to pick up some radios. Let me show you how to rescue a ham radio. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Hope you enjoyed my little intro video. So today we're talking about rescuing ham radios. And what does that mean? It means getting used ham radios. And they come from all kinds of different places, right? You could buy them at a Hamfest. It's like the one that comes to mind most often than not. I just got back from Huntsville and I bought a radio. Now, most likely though, online you're seeing a lot of stuff that you know, QRZ, eBay come to mind, and also the Ham Radio Crash Course Discord. Link is in the description for our Discord. We have an amazing little used ham radio swaps area you can go to, and you can start searching right now and find your next ham radio, rescue your next ham radio. Speaking of that, we're going to be doing a live stream after chat where you can hang out with us. You can ask your ham radio questions. It's going to be right after this live stream. There'll be another one posted. So if you haven't joined our Discord, go ahead and do that now. But it's nothing like going to a ham fest and you find a radio and you're like, you know what? I've been thinking about that one for a little while. It's been on my list, and I think I'm going to buy it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about buying online and buying in person and what you should do, particularly when you're in person and find a radio. How do you verify that it's going to work for you? So that's going to be the target of today's video. A couple of things to mention, though, before we dive into it. I want to say a big shout-out to Leia and Vern6 and all the great people that are doing hamradio.coffee. The Ham Radio Crash Course Coffee Club is running right now. The link is in the video description. It'll take you right to the monthly order thing. We've got it for 4 months at a time, and there's special blends for every month of this year that we'll be running through, and we're running, obviously, into the next year as well. But Ham Radio Crash Course Coffee Blend, the Cat Cups Coffee, Give It the Beams, and Ratchet Straps, which are all jokes from our Ham Radio Crash Course podcast. So if you want to check that out, please do. And I thank you very much for trying out the coffee. You'll be added to our coffee enjoyers list at the end of the live stream, which you'll see in this episode. Another big shout out. Got a couple of friends out on W6CT245 in a myriad of ways. We've got KD7DTS, K6ARA, and K6ARK. I think there's actually more hams up there too. But I've now made a contact with KD7DTS on 2 meters. I've made contact with N6ARA on 40 and another contact with K6ARK on 40 meters as well on CW. And K6ARK is running Meshtastic from up there on San Gregorio Peak. So check that out. Pretty cool. So yeah. Here's an example of me actually finding one of my most recent used radios, actually Huntsville 2 years ago, and kind of an interesting example of like what you can do at a hamfest. And then we're going to talk about how you can do this on your own. So let's take a look. How you doing?
All right. Are you looking to sell this guy?
That guy is for sale, 500.
500. And what does it all come with?
Okay, he's got. David went to the restroom, of course.
Oh, okay.
The antenna tuner, the noise blanker, and the 4 bands already in it.
Okay, is the tuner inside? It's an internal? Okay. And this is the little stand it's got?
Yep.
That's kind of cool. Is he pretty hard on 500? Do you know?
Hey, you got an ass?
He might budge a little bit.
Okay.
It's also tough for me to start gouging people for prices at a hamfest. Be like, I don't know.
Because I've been looking for one for a little while, so I'm willing to wait a little bit until he gets back. And this is, I'm assuming that's your power lead for it?
Of course.
Okay, cool.
He'll be back over here in just a minute.
Okay, cool. I'll hang tight. How you been doing? Good show so far?
So, an envelope to slide it into?
I don't know.
On the TV, and then he comes up to the table.
Oh, did I already just buy it?
Got 2 of these with got.
It's all this right here, right? What's the wire? Not that.
Oh, it's just an antenna.
Oh, okay.
I'll throw it in if you want.
Okay, all right.
It's just speaker wire.
Yeah, I'll take it then. I'll take it.
He threw
Do you
it in
have
the
a
speaker
bag
wire.
or box?
Got a free antenna.
Okay, I'm not gonna do a hard deal.
So, there you go. You're just talking to a guy. It's a fellow ham. Hey, what's it come with it? Is there anything you can add? Because some of these antennas, like smaller QRP antennas, handheld antennas, right? They'll have different types of antennas that maybe, ham radio handhelds. They'll sometimes have different antennas that come along with it. They might not need, and so they'll just get rid of it if you ask, hey, do you have everything? Is there a power lead for it? By the way, power leads are going to be really important for one of the radios I picked up at Huntsville this year because it's not a standard one. Anyway, let's jump ahead a little bit here. So where do we go? Right here we go. So we're taking it to the testing bench. Now, some hamfests have this. Not all of them do, but when they do, very, very nice thing to have. And if they don't, well, that's where the rest of this video is going to come in.
You're going to be the Dwarf Barbarian? Okay.
This is us putting our ham radio party together.
I, too, have something to test.
Oh my. Well, gotta go on another page. I happen to see you on YouTube.
I'm on YouTube right now. We're live.
You're on YouTube? What is YouTube?
Hey. Exactly. What is it? I don't know.
Let's go ahead.
So sign.
Oh my.
So everybody
I
gets
got a
excited
treat of a
and you
radio to test.
pull out cool radios.
And that's fully loaded. It's got the four band set, the noise blanker, the backlight, and the internal tuner. 500.
That's not bad for that.
No.
So I mentioned a price, 500. We'll talk about that too. There's a way to verify and check pricing.
Amazingly good.
It really good quality.
I love those things.
And I'm told that it was built by the kit builder, someone who did that.
Someone knows what they're doing.
That's the thing. Should note that there's a number of radios you can stumble on that are kit radios. Like Elecraft has a ton of kit radios, or at least they used to. And for people that didn't want to go down that rabbit hole of learning to build a kit and go through the process, you could pay somebody a little bit of money and they'd put it together for you. So it's almost like a certified kit builder, if you catch my drift, and then you could get it that way. So let's continue a little bit and I'll show you what we do here. So I fill out my name here, give them a little bit of info about me, that I'm utilizing their facilities.
Yes, I'd like to test power output.
Yeah, power output.
It's only a 5
And obviously that it turns on.
8 watt or
I don't know. That's kind of what
should be about 5.
I'm guessing 5, but
No problem.
We're here.
I've got you on the HF side, so whatever
okay.
it is.
So probably a dummy load, and I've got a lead here. Yeah.
Please,
Yes,
sir.
hang on.
I'm willing to donate. The testing. I have a O-scope.
So you see they got like everything, right?
Okay. E2. Transmit button.
What's that more messed up?
They got a little power meter up there, right?
Well, see, I got that was it. Side. Sure.
So I go somewhere.
Hold down. Tricky or
Feels cool.
that's how I
powered
feel
on?
about it too. On.
There we go.
Okay.
So here we go.
Maybe.
I don't see anything coming out over here.
No.
Not power yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah. Well, I got the key plugged in first, and the power button is actually in the back.
Ready?
Yes.
It's off, right?
It's off.
Watch the light.
Okay. Ready?
Power supply on.
Radio.
Hey,
On.
we got a living radio.
Okay.
So something to mention here, when you go to a hamfest and you find a used radio, or if you got a buddy or whatever, have them demonstrate the thing. Or, if you can, walk it over to one of these testing stations, or, you know, interface with somebody who might have a battery that you can use just to test and get the radio on the air. So a couple of things I'll mention right up front. There's a couple of items that you might want to have in your kit if you're going to go about doing this, and I'll get to that in a second, but I figured I'd show you how to find a radio now if you wanted to go online, and some of my little tips there as well. So let's slide on over. All right, let's take an easy example. The Yaesu 818, a radio that was recently taken out of production and is all over the place. So if you look up eBay, I'm on eBay right now. We've got one for $850, another one for $685, another one for $1,200, two, a stack for doing linear satellites basically, for $2,800. That's a lot. And these are all ongoing sales. These are all either auctions that are happening or it's like a buy it now thing, you know, whatever. That's not really helpful because you don't actually show a history of what radios have sold for. So if you don't know this, and this is for people that don't know this, if in the upper right-hand corner of eBay, in fact, let me see if I can bump this up a little bit. That was, oh, you know, that was just enough. We got rid of the ads. Right there, next to the search button is the thing that says Advanced. If you click on Advanced, so it's going to give us some more search options. We want to make sure we go down to Sold Items, click Sold Items, right? Not just completed auctions, sold items, meaning someone exchanged money. At least it went through most of the process. And then go back to Search, and let's see what we get. We're going to see a lot of accessories, but we'll also see some radio sales eventually. People buy a lot of accessories for the 818. Wow. See, that's more than I expected. That is a boxed Yaesu 818 for $1,000. Makes me want to sell my 818. Another one for $1,000. Wow. Another used, so out of the box, but they're all pretty much out of the box. 2020 manufacture date. 818 for $710. Wow, that is actually way more than I expected. $988. Geez, I gotta sell my 818. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. Okay, there's something. There's something a little bit more reasonable, but you can see no box, right? People, all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, no box. It's not for me." $660. Still sold though. 2 bids. And $11.99. That's what, 16. What is happening? Wait, I did not expect this at all. I was just going to show you how to do this and then be like, and that's it. What? Oh, it's because it's got a ton. It has accessories. Looks like it's got accessories. Oh, it's got a filter. That's why. That little gray bar is a physical filter. That's why. Okay, makes sense. It does mention CW filter. 700, yeah, it's the 700 hertz CW filter that set the price. That's wild, okay? But let's try something else, okay? Let's try Elecraft K1. All right, so there's an Elecraft K1, just like what I purchased, currently on sale right now for $599. It's in Japan, so it's like, okay, you might want to consider, is this something going to cost a lot for shipping? Is this something that is going to be region-specific? I don't assume the Elecraft is, but a lot of the Japanese manufacturers will have Japanese-only radios, and by only, we mean that their frequency band, their frequency access is going to be a little bit different than that of American frequency access or whatever country you're in. So let's do the same thing. We're going to go to Advanced. We're going to go to Sold Items, and we're going to click Search. Okay, vintage Elecraft K1 multiband, $500. That's what I paid for mine. Here's one that went for $639. Here's another one went for $549 plus shipping, also in Japan. And ooh, look at that, a little physical filter. Hey. And let's see, that's a K2. That's not a bad radio. A lot of K2s are going to show up. I don't know why exactly in K3s, but sure. I guess it's out of K1s. So anyway, you can kind of get an idea of, oh, $500 is not a bad deal. And that's kind of what you should do. So you're at a hamfest and you're talking to somebody and they go, hey, I'm selling this for $500. And you're like, okay, I'm kind of interested. Maybe take a step back and then go pull up eBay and do an advanced search and click sold and search for that radio and see what they come up for, right? Now, this is going to be more easy to do if it's a common radio. So that Yaesu 818, for instance, a lot of handhelds will have a lot of sales that happen on it, 2-meter, 70-centimeter handhelds. Rarer radios are going to be a little bit harder to find information like this, but it's really, really helpful to do so. And let's use another example. So I picked up a Mountain Topper 3-band this year at Huntsville. And what am I looking at? I've got baseball cards. Well, that's really weird. Let's do this one more time. Let's go to Advanced, and we'll go to Sold Items and click Search. And hey, there's one. Whoa. That sold for $565 with 41 bids on it, and it doesn't look like, looks like a battery kit and not a lot else. I did not pay that much for the 2 3-banders I own now. Question: do you ever consider when it's sold, which might indicate rarity? That's a great point, Don. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to look at it. So in this case, this one sold on August 19th, which is relatively recent. But if we go back, right? If we go back, or we try to go back, and we go again, we gotta go back. If we continue to look for more K3s and we're not seeing any, that's probably an indicator that there's not a ton of those. Hey, look. All right. Oh, revised mountains are going for $1.85. Geez, I got some of those too. Anyway, we're not seeing a lot of them, but also we don't have a lot of limits set on here. We can further throttle this down by saying, radio technology only, that kind of thing. That would get the baseball cards and this other stuff out of the way. I don't know if we can do that quickly. If not, price, no, that's fine. Anyway, you get the idea. You can go deeper if you want to on that. And I think I got one more, or maybe I lost it. Did I lose it? Doesn't matter. So I have a couple of radios that I purchased recently, and that K1 is sitting there as well. And so that's the new 3-band Mountain Topper, L&R Mountain Topper. And then the one next to it is actually one that I bought a couple of years ago now off of Facebook, which, hey, that's another fantastic place to find some of these radios at different times, is go to the Facebook pages for different radio groups or radio enthusiasts. There's a ton of people on this L&R Precision mountaintop transceivers that sell radios from time to time. And just know going in that these people know exactly what these things are worth, and they don't sit for very long. I happen to get a smoking deal on a 3-bander in one of those T1 tuners for $400, $350, $400, which is just insane. But anyway, that's rare. That's rare. And that was thanks to K6ARK that I snagged that one. But you'll see posts like these, and sometimes you'll see something like this. It says, hey, and by the way, I'm selling my 3-bander. And then everybody loses their mind, and the whole post goes insane. But it happens, right? It happens. Let's see. Go back here, and let me pull this up real fast. I lost my marketplace. I was just on it a second ago, and now it's gone. And then a quick shout out to the Discord. This is our Discord marketplace, which you can pull up here, and you can see just a myriad of radios, and you can search if you need to for different things. So if we search for 818. Looks like we got some gear, but already a couple of them sold. I don't even know if it's going to show us what it's sold for, but you can go through here and you can also look. And sometimes that helps too, is look for these radios in places that you might be able to find them outside of just the standard eBay. Another such place is QRZ. And so for QRZ, you can go to the forums. Well, I'm on the QRZ forums right now. And you can go to forum search, which is right there. Search forums. It's at the very top of the page. Maybe I can embiggen this a little bit. Maybe. Good. Search forums. Click on search forums. And then I can say, let's just do 818 like that. And then I only want the for sale page here. I don't want anything else. And hit search. Ooh, there's a lot of searching. Yeah, so here you go. You got a for sale Yaesu 818 with a tuner and extras. Not bad. Let's see. They're looking for $875. So that is a better price than all of the ones going on eBay pretty much that we found. And it has a tuner. And it looks like it has rails as well, little metal rails on the side that would really protect your radio. So that's really good. That's a really, really great deal. You should check that one out if you're so inclined. Right? Yeah. All right, so let's say you found a radio and you're like, yes, I'm going with this one. Maybe it's not online, but even if it is, you may still want to do this at your home. So a couple of people, hey, Chrissy, what's going on, Chrissy? I haven't seen you in a little while. Hope you're doing well. Let me see if there's any questions that I missed. Oh, Christy is selling a TS430, fully tested, 2.7 kilohertz filter, new display. Very good. Well, best of luck. Maybe post it on eBay or QRZ. What? Want to buy? Want to buy an 818? $1,100. Yeah, that was a surprising amount. I have a 705, but yes, I also have an 818. So I hypothetically can do an 818-705 combo for linears. But okay, let's go back to the tabletop here and talk about some of the things that I like to bring with me when I go to a hamfest, because these are all helpful items that you'll probably use if you find a radio. Okay, so let's walk through my radios, and then we'll talk a little bit about the loot and gear. And yes, I have links to everything that I'm going to talk about on the video description, so you can check that out. And I tried to find stuff that works for me. You will have to modify some of these recommendations a little bit depending on what it is you're shopping for. So if you're looking for a 100-watt radio, then my dinky little power meter and dummy load from 4 States QRP might be overkill. But this lets you do a really bunch of cool things. You can throw this on your radio, and we'll demonstrate this with the mountain topper that we have sitting here. You throw this on the radio. Give it the power. Give it the juice. Oh, you know what? No, I haven't turned it on yet. And I'm going to give it a straight key because we want to test with a constant tone. A lot of radios have a constant tone feature for tuning, but we're just going to use our straight key. When in doubt, just use a straight key. And we're going to keep an eye on those LED lights. Okay? 9-volt power delivered directly to this bad boy, and let's key up. I have it on. Oh, that's why. This is a radio. Another thing to note about CW radios, some of them will take mono plugs and treat them as straight keys, which is how it should work. But then others, if you give them a tip ring sleeve, so this is a mono plug, right? It's just tip and sleeve. But if you give them a tip ring sleeve, they'll treat it immediately as an iambic. So even though that straight key is a straight key, it wanted to treat it as an iambic. So let's try that again. And we're getting a 0.5 watt out. That's right. We're getting a 0.5 watt out with a 9-volt battery. And that's what you can expect with a mountain topper. So you may be lusting after one of these, but if you can't abide 9-volt power output and you are wanting to get more than 0.5 watt, then maybe skip these. What you can do instead, and this is another radio that I just picked up. I got this at Ham Radio Outlet. And this is another thing I'd like to kind of hit, is the lineage of the radio, or the provenance. Provenance is a term that comes from the art collecting world, or the art world. And it talks about the quality of the lineage of the art. In this case, I happen to be at the Anaheim HRO, and I saw this radio. This is a UKITS HB1B 4-band QRP radio. Now, when I was a younger ham, I wanted one of these really bad, but I just couldn't commit to buying it because I just wasn't that secure in CW, and frankly, I was just busy with other things. So it was kind of like one of those radios. When I'm out there looking for 7300s and stuff like that, or, you know, radios or before the 7300, this was a cool radio, but it didn't really make sense to me because I didn't fully understand the value of CW and all that stuff. But anyway, when I went into HRO, I saw that this had a full printed manual, and it had handwritten notes on that manual of the user, and it had this wooden stand that either he made or he bought. Either way, I took that as a really good sign that, you know, I could probably buy this radio, and I have a lot of confidence that it'll probably work just fine. So I took it home, and I did a similar thing, right? I hooked it up to my dummy load here. Which, by the way, if you are thinking about doing this, you know, you may need to put a power meter plus a dummy load if you're going to be doing a 100-watt radio. And that's all right. Just make sure you get one of those. I have links in the video description if you want to check that out. But you can also check out HRO, or you can check out Gigaparts, DX Engineering, or you can buy this stuff at the Hamfest. You can buy a power supply, you can buy a dummy load, you can buy a power meter, you can do the whole 9 yards. Anyway. Let's go ahead and switch this one out to get that straight key back. I think it'll work with this flat. I'm not sure. Actually, let's just use let's see what happens. Put the straight key back into the line here. There we go. Now I do have a speaker off to the side here. And we're getting 2 watts out. Yeah, buddy. Very good, very good. Okay, so we've got a radio that works. We're transmitting out. We're like, hey, good stuff. But let's do the flip side of that, right? Let's transmit after we test our K1 here. So K1, let me put that in the side for a second. We're going to need that. So I got my K1 turned on here as well. We're on 14.068 is what we should be on, but we'll straighten that out. Or maybe it just shifted. Did it just shift? Oh no, I was chasing ARA, and I bumped frequencies around trying to chase him with this UKITS radio. All right, and we'll go up a little bit here. Okay. Okay, now here's our straight key. This radio has a built-in tuner, so I'm going to hit the 2 buttons together. All right, about 2 watts. Maybe a little bit more north of that. It's probably closer to 3 or 4. But now with this guy, if you have the ability to, and what's a good example of how to do this? Let's leave the dummy load connected. We'll go back to my antenna here. Let me get that on the dummy load. So now you're at a hamfest and you're like looking at, maybe it's this radio, that's potentially this radio, or maybe it's the K1, and you want to test that the radio is actually functioning as you expect. So if this is the radio, this is the radio you're testing to buy, and you're like, okay, it can receive a signal or it can transmit, but you don't know how well it sounds or that it can receive, because you got to do both sides of this. So let's say our guy's this one. I changed my mind. I'm going to, doesn't really matter, but we're going to put this in just in case to give us a little bit of antenna access. It'll do something rather than nothing. So now we've got a driver antenna, something that's going to provide a signal, in this case my Elecraft K1, and I'm going to give it a little bit of signal here, and we're going to see if the S meter works. Does. Looks like it's giving it an S9 as I'm keying up here. Cool. So we've got a radio that is transmitting and now receiving. So at least we've got that. We've also tested that the screens are looking good in the process. We've gone through the whole 9 yards. Now, the flip side to that is, let's say we wanted to test this guy and you got the dummy load on and you don't have your K1 example. What do you carry with you if you've got a radio you want to test? Well, I carry this guy. This is my radio under test receiver that I like to carry in my luggage when I'm traveling, because it's really just a simple shortwave radio that does single sideband and CW. So we can do the same thing here. If you turn it on, we're on the same frequency. And now, where is it? Oh, we got the radio off. And should pick up a signal that's going into a dummy load. Yeah, you should. You can, should or shouldn't. You would be able to. You absolutely can if you're this close. Yeah, so really a fancy not fancy, actually, less than fancy, a simple way of testing a radio out for receive. So if you wanted to test transmit And hey, you don't want to carry a bunch of stuff with you. I like to carry this with me to the hamfest. But it goes on, and I'm going to show all this stuff in a second because I think it's actually pretty cool that you can buy a lot of this stuff for relatively cheaply, like our little dummy load for QRP that has a simple power meter attachment. That's kind of the thing. It's not going to give you super accuracy, and of course, it's really truly QRP at only 5 watts, but still pretty handy. So let's swap this guy out. I'll put my radio back on the stand here. And here's something that you might enjoy. This is was off the market, but now it's back. This is the QRP Me Pocket Pal 2. And they now have the Pocket Pal 2 Plus. And I built this. It's a kit. You might be able to find somebody who can do the building for you, but I didn't find the kit that difficult to build. It is a little test suite right in a little tin here. And what you do is it comes with these power leads. We'll put those aside for now. Let me bring the device out. It's got a little Altoids tin. This is a piece of cardboard. It's kind of an insulator so it doesn't short the leads. And it runs off 9 volts. And I'm going to show you a couple of things. Let me grab a... I lost my little LED I was using as an example, but anyway. And I forget the polarity of this thing, but we're going to find out real fast. We'll leave those out here for a second. Okay, so where'd it go? Oh, there it is. That flew. Fine. Chill. So this device will do a couple of things. Let me turn it around so you can actually see the silk screening. And it's a hamfest tester. Oh, I was listening for Mark on frequency. Hold on. All right, so if you go down the list here, this has a 20 and 40 meter frequency generator. It'll count frequency for crystals. It has a speaker tester, a piezo speaker tester, and then it has a myriad of different voltages that it puts out via this little plug. And you can use that to test things like LEDs. So if we give it... we could have a problem with this one, but it should be fine. Let me see. Oh, it helps if you plug in a battery. What's wrong with my boy? It was just working for signal generation, but now it's not working for this. Well, that's a problem. Anyway, you can trust me, it did work. It's actually a two-sided board. The voltage output and the ice pick that they use here is for mainly the stuff that like does the frequency counting. But the generator, which we'll test right now, let me go back to my radio. I'll demonstrate that for you. So if you look at, we're going to have to probably change. Let's see. If you look right here, and this is one of the things they changed with the new model. So that's the crystal, that little silver dome. It's listing as 14.318, which is kind of high for a lot of CW radios. And in fact, a lot of what I have on the table doesn't even go that high. We can try with the, I think the Mountain Topper might go that high. The Elecraft does not want to do it, though. This guy certainly doesn't want to do it either. So let me grab the power lead here. Let's see if we can do it, first of all. You hold... No, that's not it. There was a way to do this faster, and I forget how to do it. This radio might not be the one to do it. Let's try this one again. Oh, we can? We can do it. We're good. Sorry, Mountaintopper, another time. Let me bring this guy back here. All right, so where's our guy? We're on 3... 318. Okay. And the way this works is, I'm holding the backside here. You'd normally put this in the little tin. We take our leads here and put them in the 20-meter slots. And then I'm going to have to hold this closer to the... hold on. Okay, I'm taking my speaker. Got to get this way closer to the mic. Okay, here we go. So it's a pretty bad battery. In fact, it might be dead. Oh, yeah, it's totally dead. No wonder. No wonder anything's not working. That's slightly better. Do the old tongue test, kids. That's way better. I was wondering why it was so quiet. So let's try that again with my little buddy here. Hold on. My buddy LED. Yeah, did I fry that side of the board? I might have. No, that works. Oh, there it is. We got it. I knew it was going to work. That's right, James. James got it. James knows the way. Yeah, so there's a couple of things. Now, a couple of other things that I will mention that you should keep kind of in a kit. So let me back some of this stuff out of here because we got a lot of junk. Try to simplify this a little bit because you're seeing a whole lot of gear, and I'll walk through why I think this is valuable. Now, of course, you're watching me do this with HF radios, but how much different is going to be HTs, right? With an HT, the big thing you're going to need there is the radio that you want to test, and maybe it doesn't have a battery. For a lot of radios, that's okay. You just need to have a 12-volt adapter, 12-volt plug into the radio to be able to turn it on. So there's your first step. Can you turn it on? And then if you can turn it on, see if you can receive signal with it. So you're always going to have a radio on you when you're at a hamfest, right? Right? So you can test it that way. So Belka DX is the listening radio for transmitting on something you may want to purchase. The Pocket Pal can generate a signal, a tone, that you can listen to on the actual radio you want to purchase, and it runs off of a 9-volt battery. And again, I do have links, and I'm not affiliated with QRP Me. I love this kit so much. And if you have gauges, so if you're like literally an old timey, you know, a ham that likes to build stuff, into the older stuff a little bit, this will do crystal tests. It will do speaker tests. It will do gauges. So you can plug these into the different gauges you may be purchasing. Different microvolt levels will tell you if that gauge is working at all or not. So it's like a go no go with this little device, and it sits right here in this little tin. Let's throw that back in there. I'm gonna turn the battery around. You know, one thing I should add a little piece of card so it doesn't go up against the side. No, what's the best way to do this? Just turn the connector around, right? Yeah, that's the most efficient way. Let's just turn the connector around. There you go. So this goes in my my hamfest bag when I'm traveling. Always. But yeah, a little piece of card is probably a good idea here. I'll do that after the show. And then this gets tied up here and lives right there. There. Nice little thing. What else? The other thing I'll mention is multimeters. So digital multimeters. This is a MEET device, MEET. And this has the other lead here attached. And the cool thing about this guy is it is all one piece, and it will cycle through its different functions when you use it. And I think this thing's like $20. And even cooler is it'll sync with your phone. So you can set this up on a device you're testing, and then you can go to your phone, or you can take your phone with you, make adjustments to whatever you need, and this works just great for $20. It's crazy the features it has. Yeah, it uses Bluetooth, wireless connectivity right there. Now, if you want something that's way more expensive and smaller, the pocket meter does more. This is a multimeter primarily, but you can use that with it works as an oscilloscope as well. What else? If you're into testing equipment, I'll give a shout out. I talked about this on another live stream, the RF Power Snitch. This is a really cool device when you want to test a radio for, say, spurious emissions, like a handheld. You plug your handheld into this, and when you key it up, these LED lights will indicate if it's a safe amount of power for testing or it's too much power for testing. And then it'll blow up your radio or your testing device. So if you have a tiny SA, for instance, you may want something like that to prevent blowing it up, which is a good idea. So yeah, there you go. Let's see. Did I actually show you the? I don't think I did. So this is the mountain toppers side by side, and I want to mention these are both made by the same company, but the designs are different. These are both 3-band mountain toppers, but the one that I bought recently, the older one, is actually smaller, and there's some differences in connectors as well. So this is a screen. This is the new one on the right. BNC connector and a larger screen. If you're new to mountain toppers and you want one, this is the one to aim for my personal opinion. This is a bit more advanced, particularly because it uses an RCA adapter for the antenna. And if you want to see that work, we'll do that real quick too. This is a BNC female. Into glorious 9-volt battery. Reminder, let me go back here. Special, it's a unique sized cable. Not going to fit all, it's too small for most radios. And this guy wants a mono plug, I believe. We'll see. Woo, buddy. 9-volt power coming at you. So yeah, there you go. All working as expected. Now, those are all things that you could do at a hamfest, at a ham club. You can carry all this stuff in a little bag, so you can carry your. Even if you plus this up, if you went to a full-size dummy load, I'll talk about that in a second too. Let's get this stuff out of the way. So you got your Zomboids, your Pocket Pal, you got your QRP dummy load, you got your power snitch, maybe you have a pocket meter, and yeah, the only thing you need to add is a power supply or something along those lines. And you can use, let me grab those real fast. These are USB-C charging 9-volt batteries. If you're so inclined, you have a radio that can run off that. Or, and here's where we got to go back to the web for a second so I can show you the info on some of this stuff. Let's take a look. We have some delicious Bucky juice here. I'm drinking Liquid Death. I actually really like these things. I've been drinking them for a while. Let me go to the web here and show you some of what I would recommend. So let's pull this up. So if you want to go with something that's not QRP, right? You need basically a 100-watt dummy load, and scaling this up to be a little bit bigger would probably be an okay thing to do. I'm showing you the UHF male connector. See that there? A lot of these come with end connectors, so be cognizant of that. For $45 off Amazon's not bad. You could probably burst it, with a little power, but not just lay on it. Power snitch. Somebody said power snitch? Yeah, it's a device you hook up to like an HT when you're doing a power test. So you put it at the end of all your attenuators, and if the third light turns on, you're giving it too much power. You could blow up your spectrum analyzer, for instance. It's just a fun little device to carry with you. And then next, let's see. This guy is... So the next thing, and here's a really easy recommendation. You will be able to turn on most radios if you pick up a power delivery or PD adapter kit and you have an appropriate USB-C battery. So those leads up at top are almost every lead you can experience, whether it's a handheld HT, a standard HF radio, or even that mountaintop or 3-bander. You can use this to convert USB-C power into 12 volt. And if you want to go down that road of which radio or which one I'd recommend, I put the link in the video description, but this one is really easy to carry. It's an Anker power. It's like $27. It does PD, and you can actually run a whole QRP station off of this. So pretty cheap, and you use the power delivery cable, USB-C, to that 12 volt adapter, and that'll get you everything you need. So if you wanted to actually power on a 100-watt radio that has the same connector, it would be fine to actually power it on. You may not be able to run it at full voltage or full watt output power, but you'd be able to test it, right? A couple of other things. Let's go back here. That's that meter that I mentioned, $32. Again, linked in the video description. And I had a couple of other guys. Yeah, these guys. Where'd it go? Where's my 4 States QRP? Got to give a shout out to the 4 States QRP guys. Well, while I pull that up, let me show you the Pocket Pal. $40 for the new one, and that'll do, everything I showed you. So signal generator, let you test LEDs, let you test meters with the different power output settings. It'll also test the frequency of a crystal, and I believe it'll give you like a rolling wave function that you can use for different things. I haven't needed to use that for anything, but Nado do 12 volts, many do. Yeah. So really important point here with the mountain toppers, guys. Really, really, really important. There's a reason why I'm showing you those 12-volt or the 9-volt batteries that run off of USB-C. The mountain toppers will die if you gave them 13.8. Anything over like 12 volts will blow these suckers up. So don't overfeed them power. They will be dead, and then you'll be sad. So don't overfeed them power. They'll be very unhappy. And there was one other thing. Where is it? Did we go through everything? I think we might have. I might actually be able to take some questions. I seldom have the time. Yeah, there's your Belka DX. 475 bin. I don't know what that is. But if you add it to cart, it'll show you what the price is once you get it to PayPal or however you want to pay for it. And hey, look, I did a video review of this thing. It's actually really fun. My opening for that video I really liked. And then 4 States QRP. I don't know what happened to it, so let's pull it up. 4sqrp.com. Link is correct in the video, though. And if you bring that up, the NM0S dummy load is Sale suspended for oh Jesus. Anyway, it's really cheap, and it's surface mount parts, but the surface mount parts are huge. You can do it with a regular soldering iron. You don't need to have a hot air gun or anything like that. Excuse me. So, all right. I think we did it, kids. I may play that opening again at the end. I don't know if you didn't see it. That opening was a banger. Any questions? Let's take some questions. Give us a good view or link to those 9-volt batteries. Oh, yeah. There are a lot of junk ones on Amazon. So, so great question. These guys, which are now green screening out real bad, these were recommended to me by K6ARK, and he is the one who linked me to these. And I think they're all completely gone. Let me see if I can find the ones that I purchased recently that were not bad. You stupid Amazon. The problem is yeah, there's a lot of them that are junk. So let's do a sort here for 4 stars and up. That might help a little bit. Oh, I found them. Yeah, I found them. Cool. They're back. They were gone for a while, so I'll grab the link and let me do that right now. I think I can do that. Hold on. And there's the link for those batteries. There you go. All right. If you put at Ham Radio Crash Course or questions in the chat, just put the word question. I'll see it, so you can show it that. Yeah, a bit of light live stream. We were live streaming pretty hard yesterday. Thanks everybody who tuned in for our live announcement at Tokyo Ham Fair with Ray Novak. That was a lot of fun. And then thanks to my friends, Ham Radio Tube, Ham Radio 2.0, and Digital Rancher for joining me for a little bit of an after chat. Yes. The power pole to Waco jumpers for leads are great for bare wires to power poles. Jeff, that's a really good point, and I think I'm going to grab mine. You know what? Since we have a little bit of time and I'm waiting for questions, let me go grab my little field pouch that I bring with me that has those Waco connectors in it, and I'll show you what I oftentimes bring as kind of like my odds and ends pack. If you search, I saw your Big John, I saw it. You'll have to Google it. I don't have the link handy, but it's the RF Power Snitch. RF Power Snitch. So I have a second monitor up here. I do a lot of stuff down here, but a lot of times when I'm pulling up links, I can't. Can I look with one eye while I'll have to go back and watch my video? Do I look up a lot? That's what somebody told me I do. They're like, how do I know if I'm watching an HRCC stream? He's always going like this. Let me grab the kit. I don't know if my camera's going to be able to get all this in here, but we'll try. We'll try for all the glory. Here we go. So I got this for Christmas. I don't know who gave it to me, but let me get my very coveted radio equipment out of here. The mountain toppers are the ones I'm talking about. So this is like a roll bag. Oh, yeah, we need all this space, don't we? Yeah, we do. This thing's big. It's like a roll bag, right? And in this roll bag, I have these pouches, which I have not labeled yet because I'm not completely sold on how I want them all configured. But I got an extra piece of coax, Velcro. This is one that has ferrites on it. This is like Power Town. I have a splitter for power poles. This is a PD cable. So check that out. It goes from coaxial power lead to USB-C. An extra USB micro, because reasons. A laptop cable for the Jankopotamus. A power pole jumper, so jumper to jumper. And then these guys. These are the Waco connectors to power poles. These are great. You can take bare wires, so the little doors hinge up, shove bare wires in there. Is this not autofocusing? Come on, bud. Put your bare wires in there, and then snap the leads home, and then this is just a power pole connector. So this is great if you end up at a field day and you got a guy who uses banana plugs or whatever, and you're like, bro, that's not going to work. If he doesn't mind cutting his stuff, you hand him one of these and say, throw your leads on there, and then you're ready to go. Get back in the field and running. These are all things that I have at once needed and didn't have for power delivery. That's my antenna kit, my little fix-it kit that I showed you in the hotel room. A whole bundle of this tomato wire. Remember tomato wire? I was telling you about it for tomato plants. It's rubber-coated wire, and I use this for lashing antennas to things. Tomato wire. Power pole connector. No, that's a coax crimper. Yep, coax crimper. Usually the power pole crimper goes in there, but I took it out. Naughty, naughty me. This is my pine sill soldering station that runs off of 12 volts and USB-C. And then usually I have a K6 ARK antenna in here, extra bit of wire. Oh, there's a PAC-10 in here now. Yeah. PAC-10 as well. As a backup. Backup to a backup. And I believe I have some loose ends. Yeah. Parts. Yeah, anyway. Got a couple of questions. I see them came in. Thanks for sending the questions. I will answer them now. And pull my radios back in for appropriate staging. These got to look good, man. You got to look good on YouTube. Otherwise, people don't stick around unless you're showing off radios. Right? That's what I'm told. All right. Hello, hello. Question. Best charge level for long-term storage of lithium batteries? I have no idea. Wait, why are you asking me this? You're the guy who likes to comment on all these battery you make all these long-winded comments on videos. I've seen you on multiple videos make long-winded comments. Why don't you just make a statement? Tell people what you believe it is. I don't think I ever have my batteries sitting for long enough that they're not being in use, so I don't really decharge them, but I try not to leave them more than 80%. How long can you expect to run a typical 12-volt QRP radio like a QCX Mini or Mountain Topper off of one of those USB PD batteries? Well, so it depends on okay, do you mean the 9 volts? Yeah, you meant the 9 volt. You have to, because you want to run those off 9 volts. Maybe 1 or 2 soda activations, probably no more. Darren, I appreciate what you're saying, but I swear I just read a comment from you that was like 3 paragraphs long of you making big statements. I don't know. You could be the wrong guy. If you are, I apologize. Anyway. Also, are you the Darren Hitchens? From like Hack 5 Darren Hitchens? Are you? Interesting. Anyway. USB-C 9 volts, you could probably get like 1 or 2 soda activations out of it. I don't know, a couple of hours maybe. The one advantage that the Mountain Toppers have that a lot of people really like is they sip batteries. They absolutely sip them. Like they're very, very light efficiency-wise. There you go. Listen to Jody. Whatever Jody says is the right answer. Oh, Darren Kitchens. That's it. Thank you, Jeff. I saw his avatar and I'm like, that looks a little bit like that guy. Thank you, wrong Darren. So many people correcting me in the chat right now. Thank you. Okay. There you go, man. You're the only one. All right, well, what time we're right at the end of the hour. All right, cool. Well, we're going to wrap up here, and we're going to go live for the after chat. The after chat is all about your question. So if I didn't answer your question, well, that's the perfect time to join us in the after chat. The after chat will cover any topic, not just the topic we covered today. We'll go into as much as we can based on your questions. Obviously, we're trying for amateur radio. Amateur radio questions are things that are radio related to help people get up and running as fast as they can. I have a Miyati battery. What do you think about batteries made by Miyati? I have like one battery from Miyati, and it is very light, lighter than you expect. And I don't feel that I get the stated amp hours, but at the same time, I haven't done a proper test. Yeah, the RF sniffer is something I had on the table. It's not in the show notes. You're going to have to go look it up. If you Google RF power, wait, let me put it on the screen. RF power snitch. That guy. Go look it up. I'll try and grab the link after, but you can pull it up right now. All right. RF Power Snitch. Go check it out. All right, guys. Let's say a big thank you to our patrons. Maybe I'll pull that up while we're waiting on that. There it is. It's the first one. First link that comes up. And it is sold out. Sold out. So there you go. Never mind. Don't worry about it. It's completely sold out. That's a lot of Bucky's merch. It is, buddy. But, hey, a big shout-out to the patrons. Thank you for all the support. I will be posting the link for our patron picks live stream vote. First Saturday of every month, I do an episode that is voted on by the patron community for the HRCC. So you guys get first crack at that and deciding what I talk about once a month. And I'll be dropping the newsletter next week sometime as well for those that are patron supporters. So thanks for that. All the names here are producer-level patrons, and that is a ton of support you've given throughout the years, and it's really appreciated. We've added a second group. If you are a coffee supporter, you will be on this list. You will see your name come up here shortly, and I think it's coming up real soon. So thank you to the patrons. Thank you to the coffee supporters, everybody that got the Coffee of the Month Club. And I've gotten good reviews on the Coffee of the Month, so thanks to everybody for trying it. And appreciate you. And they are different. They are different varietals. We worked pretty hard to find. I tasted a lot of coffee to find an appropriate assortment of different blends. So here we go, Coffee Club supporters. Thank you, everybody. There's Nathan. He's in there. Marvin, how do you go to the after chat? Well, the best way to do it is take the link in the video description to the Discord. But if you just watch my YouTube channel, I will be reposting or making a new live stream that you can follow, and that will be the after chat. It'll just be like this on YouTube. It'll just be the after chat, and it's a separate topic. So we try to split it up a little bit. Okay, guys, thank you so much. And why don't we play that video again for those that didn't see the opening? If you already watched it, then you can say 73 to you. Today, there are 3 million amateur radio operators in the world. That is a growth of over 1 million hams in just over a decade. That means across our great planet, in the ham shacks across the world, there are literally billions of amateur radios that are used, neglected, put away in crates, kept in pristine boxes, and never used. Let's do something for those sad ham radios. Let's sell them to another ham so they can store them in their ham shack, in their pristine boxes, in crates and cabinetry to collect dust. And if you're new to ham radio, this is also an opportunity to pick up some radios. Let me show you how to rescue a ham radio.